Michelle Obama, as you know, has got a podcast, and she's putting it to good use. I mean, she's really working through a lot of her feelings about the United States, about her husband, about her children. P.S. The answer on all three of those is she can't stand them. She hated motherhood. She can't stand her marriage, and she's not too keen on the United States of America. And there's another thing she's not too keen on, and that is being so famous. Listen to this, SOT 33.
I wanted to ask you guys earlier, like, what makes you feel alive? What makes you feel like you're present?
In the life I live, which is so abnormal now, it's like being outside.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I say this a lot, something that comes with fame that people don't, that they don't appreciate, they're not cautious of, is the loss of anonymity.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for Barack and I to just be in the world unobserved.
Yeah.
And as a couple, so much of your interaction just happens because you two are experiencing the world together, sitting in a park and watching life go by, you know, stopping at a cafe and getting a cup of coffee. And then the conversation turns to the conversation next to you, right? We're always the conversation next to the people we're sitting.
No one held a gun to her head and made her run for the White House and become First Lady twice, though you wouldn't know that to hear her talk. And on top of that, you know, like Laura Bush, she kind of went off into the sunset and never bothered anybody again. Barbara Bush.
Yes, this is my follow-up video. If you've been following this channel, you realize 1 week ago, I reacted to a video pertaining to this. Megyn Kelly did a whole segment on this. When you take a look at this, Michelle Obama has shared in interviews and her book, The Light We Carry, in 2022, about marriage challenges like period of frustrations with Barack Obama, parenting stress, and societal pressure on women. Recent clip highlight her joking about his habit like loud chewing. Critics sees this as ungrateful, while supporters view it as honest vulnerability. Sources vary for balance. Check her recent podcast. You know, I don't want to actually even go to the podcast to watch because I don't do that.
We're always the conversation next to the people we're sitting.
Oh my God, Charles. So no one to her head and made her run for the White House and become First Lady twice, though you wouldn't know that to hear her talk. And on top of that, you know, like Laura Bush, she kind of went off into the sunset and never bothered anybody again. Barbara Bush certainly did that. Hillary Clinton didn't. But Michelle Obama decided to launch a podcast where she talks about herself incessantly. That there's the woman she had on who was questioning her was a relationship therapist, talking all about Michelle's relationship with Barack. Again, P.S. Spoiler, she can't stand him. She looks at him across the dinner table and wants to smack him because she cannot stand the way he chews. The contempt is oozing out of her whenever she speaks of her husband. And answering questions like, what makes you feel alive? Like you're present. I mean, it was like listening to an episode of the Charles C.W. Cook podcast. I hear you do this all the time. And so she goes out there. She wants people subscribing. She does a huge promotional tour. Come listen to my podcast. And then she's got the nerve to go out there and cry about how famous she is. And people are always talking about her, Charles.
Yeah, and just as a 30,000 feet point, she doesn't really have a big problem there in that description. I mean, unless there's something else going on. That is a good problem to have. To be very rich and very famous does not solve all of your issues, but it is generally quite a good thing to be. I mean, I remember when I was much younger hearing a movie star, I forget who it was, complain that people would come up to him at dinner and ask for autographs or whatever. And my view was, look, that's kind of what goes along with all of the money and fame and adoration that you get. There are certain times where people can be, I'm sure you experience this, but where people can be.
There is a comment I came across under this video, and this was very important. When you take a look at this, Michelle Obama poisoned her husband through years of corrosive nightly pillow talk. Her racist cancer to ignore the white part of his nature, her decision to have her mother live with them, and the constant presence of Valerie in familiar setting significantly emasculated Barack. Those three women markedly diminish his ability to address racial wounds in our country. His unique origins would have allowed him to do. Sadly, those women destructive labels continue to negatively affect our nation to this day. You know, for some time, a lot of people are saying, like, Obama is the cause of what we are witnessing today, this division. And when you bring this up, people always struggle to counteract this. But from my observation, this actually aligns with the views of a lot of people, especially in the conservative movement.
My team informed me that there's more and that we needed to play. And I think it's SOT 31.
You really go there.
And then
Do you really
creating-
say, because how many times somebody asks, what are you thinking about? And you're like, well, let me make up a thing because
Right.
I don't want to
I don't
actually
want to
tell
say
you what I was
really
thinking about.
happened right now.
Which was
Yeah.
like, the way you're chewing makes me want to smack you upside
See,
the head.
that's why guys
Which could
don't
be-
want to have
Would
which
that
could
be
be
an edge?
That would
Is
be
that
an
an
edge. And that would be really interesting. You could like open something up
It's
there
like,
in a
why
big
does
way.
your chewing annoy me so much?
Hearing another person chewing is you're hearing the essence of who they are, their otherness.
To nothing but contempt. And somehow Michelle Obama thinks this is going to make her super relatable by always talking about how much she loathes her life partner and husband, the former president of the United States, Barack Obama. So you tell me whether we were sold a bag of goods by a media that for years wanted us to buy them as like America's it couple and like the example of modern love and how it can be done and you can have it all. And we all want to be Michelle and Barack.
I don't know if Michelle Obama can realize that over criticizing the husband is embarrassing herself. Yeah, every single time she's doing this. At a certain point, I don't see this to be okay. I understand she has the opinion to say what she wants, but sometimes doing this every single time. Yes, some people say this woman is upset that nobody gives a crap about her. That is why she's doing a podcast to talk about herself. If you notice, since the day Michelle launched this podcast, everything surrounding is to talk about herself and complaints. This has actually triggered a lot of people to notice this on the internet, and I'm glad that they are calling this out. This is not the first time Michelle is doing this. Every single time she likes to complain this, that, and I begin to question, like, why would she do this? You have been the first lady. There are other first ladies we don't even hear of. Some are on social media. They don't do this every time. Last time she talked about Barack Obama chewing habit. A lot of people saw that like that's ungratefulness. Why would you do this? Why would you even say this? This has always sparked up this rumor of them divorcing, things like that. Thank you guys for always been sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. As of the short clips you see at the end of this video, please bear with me. That is for the white algorithm. You can end here.
75 million Americans voted for a Democrat in this. Who is that joke even for?
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States. If you want to serve in the American arts,
Give interviews. I don't do that.
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States.
Happening at the moment.
Yeah. President Obama.
Is blatant censorship.
Because he says he has a team of fact checkers.
The FCC want them to stop
fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Americans, it's a part of who we are.
Because that is really something that didn't happen before.
Did anybody else watch The View? Because I think there's...
I'm going to say one.
Look, there are certain rules of free speech that we must all abide by. But in case anyone needs a refresher, we're going to go over the rules again.
He does not have a right to have a television show where he lies his ass off to the American people.
There are repercussions to spreading lies.
Somebody to get up there, not all the same people that are in these polite.
Disagree with what Gavin Newsom said, that he doesn't...
Dave Chappelle, he's not wrong about that.
6-year-olds that watch C-SPAN.
Our Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.